And now Michigan Senator Gary Peters. I appreciate your time and being with me, as I know, Senator, that yourself, Senator Stabenow, and Congressman Kildee, they're introducing a bill today that would clarify the EPA's authority to notify the public when it comes to danger from lead in the water system. So with that in place in the future, if that was in place then, in 2014, 2013, would that have helped Flint in this situation?
I think there's no question it would have, and I think I want to just pick up on certainly Mayor Weaver's comments. It's very clear this is something that the state did. It was an error made by the state that has caused really just catastrophic results in the city of Flint. They knew from some of their tests that there was a problem. They slow-walked that. They didn't inform the public. The EPA kept stressing to the state that you need to put in controls and corrosion in these pipes. They saw some of the test data, but unfortunately the EPA thought the rules were actually not very clear as to whether or not they could go public, and they had to keep really relying on the state to make that public, which took way too long. The legislation that I've introduced with Senator Stabenow, Congressman Kildee will be introducing next week in the House, makes it very clear if the EPA finds that there is unacceptable levels of lead in water, they need to require the state or local governments to make that public, and if they do not, there'll be an additional level of accountability, which means the EPA will go public and make sure the people of Flint or any other city that may be experiencing this problem understand that there is a problem with the drinking water needs to be addressed.
Well, I know you stated before that this may take years, even decades to fix, and we're also considering this new lawsuit here. We're asking the federal judge to force the state and the city to replace the lead pipes to ensure the water supply is safe. I'm sure that's also one of those efforts that you see taking decades. But when you think about what's happening now, bottled water brought in by the private sector, Walmart, Coke, Pepsi, also celebrities donating water as well. And then you have the temporary filters. That's the fix for now. What more needs to be done as far as seeing this and reassuring these families who are, again, so afraid and so uncertain as to their health, especially for the young children?
Oh, there's no question. And those are the folks, as you mentioned, the children that are impacted the most. Lead is a horrible thing for anybody to drink, but it is particularly problematic for young children, especially those that are very young. Their brains are just forming. If you've been exposed to lead, even if it gets cleaned up later and you don't have lead, because of that exposure to it, you tend to have a lifetime of problems, which is why you need to have long-term a strategy. We have proposed a future fund needs to be established, which will provide for health care for these children, make sure that they get proper nutrition as they're growing up, and also wraparound education services that are absolutely essential. That's why we've asked also to expand Head Start, for example, a critical program for very young children. We should have every child in Flint having access to Head Start. And while all of that is happening, we also need to look at infrastructure and fixing the infrastructure in the city of Flint. We're actually working on a proposal right now, working with my colleagues, and we'll be announcing that very shortly.
Okay, and when you do, we look forward to hearing from you then. Michigan Senator Gary Peters, thank you so much for your time.